live in Mayberry. They love all things Mayberry. And when new folks visit, they fall in love, too. From the writer and director of Mayberry Man, a new series that celebrates the spirit of Mayberry. New characters. New stories. Same Mayberry spirit. Wholesome family entertainment, just like the good old days. Mayberry Man, the series.
And action.
It's something that continues that family-friendly, wholesome entertainment that hopefully you can enjoy as a family. And there's some great lessons and great stories and great characters that I think you'll be able to really just come alongside and watch these characters flourish, follow the story, and see where it ends.
I know there's other classic films like The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, but this is Mayberry Man, the series.
It's going to be an amazing show.
They're going to laugh and chuckle and have a good time.
Small town life, small town characters, the humor in the small things that people do every day, and the love they have for one another. And that is the star. Not a script, not a set, not a bedazzling special effect, but the people. And that is something that I think, we need to get back to, is the importance of people, just the love of people. And this does that.
I just hope that everyone falls in love with this project like I did, and that we can continue to make family-friendly entertainment that's obviously much needed.
I guarantee this, if you love the Andy Griffith Show, you're going to love Mayberry Man.
And welcome, everyone. And Alan Stark, thanks for being here. That means it's going to be a big show. We've got the heavy hitters. You guys are going to bring it, right?
Well, it's Andy speaking.
Yeah, we're ready.
We're bringing it.
Well, tonight's show, Mayberry Goes Hollywood. It's not so much about the Andy Griffith Show episode, but we're going to be talking about the Hollywood aspects of Mayberry Man and Mayberry Man series, which obviously centers around Chris Stone, a Hollywood movie star. And so, Stark, I thought it would be fun this week to delve a little bit into Stanley, who is Chris Stone's agent, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if you did this deliberately. There's Stanley. I don't know if you did this deliberately. Maybe you can tell us. So there's a couple of characters in the movie that are mentioned but are never seen or heard from, which is the same as the Andy Griffith Show, right? There were, Alan, you're the expert. There were just two, right?
Yeah, Juanita and Sarah. We never saw it.
So coincidence or mastermind planned?
In the movie?
Yeah.
You mean in the movie? It was planned that we would not see Stanley because I wanted that to remain in the imaginations of the viewer. It just felt appropriate when it came time for the series to unveil who Stanley was. We kind of played that out. Now let's see who Stanley is. And so it was important that Stanley was memorable because of all the references to him. And fortunately, we got Vince to do it, and he knocked it out of the park. He was an unexpected pleasure because we actually had someone else tentatively cast for that, and they kind of got cold feet because it wasn't even an actor. It was just someone we had run across. We were actually going to use his location for Stanley's house, and he started getting really nervous. And then I realized that he probably can't do Stanley. So then I think I called you and said, we need to hire Stanley. So we put a casting thing out, and that's how we got Stanley.
He was no Alan Newsom. So for people that are new here, there may be a lot of new people because we've been getting we've just surpassed 17,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. So there might be new people here. So Mayberry Man is a movie inspired by the Andy Griffith Show, made with the fans, crowdfunded, and it's now available everywhere, streaming, free. And so you can go check that out. And then we have the series, which is coming out just a little bit over a week from today. So next Thursday, May 30th, that'll be released on Up Faith and Family. That's their subscription service. But they have a free trial. So you can always do the free trial and start watching the series there. But so we're talking about Stanley, who was established. Oh, the other character that we never saw or heard was Walter Stone. Right? So
that's right.
And in the series, we never hear what was her name? Pam, the receptionist, is a character that we hear. Well, should I tell them about the AI? Get in trouble for that?
No, let's save that for an AI episode because we're going to have some of those come up in the future.
Okay.
But since we're talking about Stanley, let's establish Stanley from the movie. So what I did is I went through the movie and I just clipped together all the Stanley mentions, so all the phone calls. So it goes on for a little while. It goes. let's take a look.
Poor Stanley.
I was going to say Stanley.
Somehow they find ways to get themselves in all kinds of trouble.
All I'm asking for is one meeting, okay? Just one.
Mr. Stone, if it's all right with Stanley, I'd like to continue.
Bye, Stanley. You're my agent, Stanley, not my therapist. This is the part where you play the agent, and I play the movie star. No, Stanley, listen. I gotta go. Hey, Stanley. Hey, did you give me that meeting with Barry yet? Why not? Stanley? No, Stanley, stop talking and listen to me, okay? This is a very important role for me. I mean, did you see the weekend numbers from Satan's game plan?
Hey, ain't a thing. For 20 years, we've been gathering here as fans of the show together. 20 years!
Hey, Stanley, any word from Barry's people yet? Wait, what? Wait, why is my mom calling you? No. I told her I would find a place for her when I get back. Don't mess this up, Stanley. Don't you dare. Were you sick the day they taught this in agent school or something? Come on. I'm just asking for one meeting. I mean, how hard is that? Do you even want to be my agent, Stanley? Really? Why don't you start acting like it? Just set it up. Stanley, talk to me, babe. Oh. We'll cancel it. I don't want it anymore. Yes, Stanley, I understand how hard you worked to get this meeting for me, and I really appreciate it. Seriously. But, I don't know, I think I'm gonna take some time off. We can talk about it when I get back to LA. Okay. Well, talk to you later, Stanley. Hey, Stanley. Look, I'd like you to get a hold of something for me, okay?
That's cool.
Bye, Stanley. Bye.
That's very good. That's very good. You got the part.
I made a couple of assumptions. I didn't check with Stark on this. I just assumed he was checking texts from Stanley at the opening ceremonies, but I also wanted to include Chris Bowman and Gomer looking over his shoulder. Yeah. And then there was one other one in there that was may or may not have been Stanley, I guess. I assume it was Stanley that got the call from Chris's mother.
Yes, yeah.
So,
yeah, there are a lot of them there, but I think that's what hopefully made it work, was that, you know, we never saw him, but he's constantly dealing with Stanley.
Well, yeah, the fact that he was talking to him so much throughout the movie, you got to the point. It's like, who is Stanley? I mean, you knew he was his agent, but I mean,
yeah,
Chris was rough on him. Chris was pretty rough on him.
He was nasty in the beginning. Yeah.
Stanley's abused.
He was.
So, as Stark was saying, we cast Vince Don Vito as Stanley. Wonderful guy, great actor. We got to know him in the filming, and he came out to the premiere, and you know, just a sweetheart of a guy. So, put together a little behind-the-scenes interview video with Stanley, and again, I've got to find it. Here we go. Here comes Vince Don Vito.
Don Vito.
As Stanley.
Hi, my name is Vince Don Vito. I'm playing the role of Stanley, and Stanley is the rather bombastic agent of Chris Stone.
Chris Stone! Good morning! Isn't it a beautiful day?
I've been kicked out of my home, so I'm currently spending some time in this trailer.
Sally kicked me out of the house again. It's a pretty sweet setup, though, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Whose is it?
Mike's. He's letting me stay here until Sally cools off.
The owner of the studio, Mike?
Yeah. I'm thinking about asking him if I can make this my permanent office. I may be able to pick up a few new clients.
Yeah, I don't think that's putting your best face on there, Stanley.
Step into my office.
He's my top client. When Chris doesn't work, I don't get paid. So it's in my best interest to make sure that Chris is working all the time.
You need to work.
And even though my client Chris is not having a great time right now, I'm still trying to encourage him, and my character is certainly full of life.
Isn't Leo supposed to be in development on a big superhero project? I mean, I could totally fly around on a green screen.
The only thing Leo is developing is a drinking habit.
It is like representing a Tom Cruise or a Brad Pitt. That's his level.
It's you. I mean, it's really you. Man, I am a huge fan. I love everything that you do.
I feel like I've had Chris as a client for many years, and normally if an actor attains the success that Chris Stone has attained, he would leave an agent like me. But for some reason, he has such a heart. I'm very fortunate he stays with me, especially with all the antics that I put him through.
Banana?
The Airstream. It's a gold mine. There's actors going back and forth and producers, so I just happen to sometimes, if I see a star coming through, make my way out of the trailer and say hi and strike up a conversation and make sure they're happy with their representation. If they're not, they get to step into the trailer, and maybe I can entice them into being a client of mine. I love this Airstream because it's a clean way to camp, and I get to show off my open-air cooking skills.
You have a reputation to look after here.
I don't know one person that, when they hear the term Mayberry, doesn't make them feel great. It's just good, clean, fun. This is for everyone in your family, young and old, to sit down together and have some fun.
We don't know what you're missing.
Oh, that was really good. That was great. Yeah, that was really good.
Well, the thing about I was going to say, the thing about, like, when an actor is really good, and you can tell they're good, like, he did the audition, and when I first wrote Stanley, I had this other person in mind, and I think he was Romanian or something, so I kind of gave him a kind of a thick accent when I was writing, and so when Vince read for it, he really laid on some Eastern Bloc kind of accent, and it was too much. And all I had to do was tell him once, hey, it's just, we don't really need that, but I like who you are, just go with it. Do what you come up with your guy. And never had to say another word. I mean, he just came up with the whole persona, and it was fun to watch Stanley become what he gave it. So, not that working with Alan, the unprofessional actors are not fun, but it makes it pretty easy when you get a seasoned actor in there to do this stuff.
Right. So I did notice that we don't know what his wife looks like. That's another character because he talks about Sally kicked him out of the house.
Sally.
Yeah.
Sally.
So you got to wonder, who is she? I mean,
future episodes, we might have a Sally episode.
We might.
When we start jumping the shark, we'll have Sally come in.
Yeah.
Well, I like that he had the backstory of being Chris Stone's like maybe his original agent, small time agent, but he kind of rode Chris Stone's coattails to the top, and so. But he had some kind things to say about Chris Stone. He's loyal. So just adding dimension that you never see in the film or the series, right? That's what actors do. They kind of create the whole backstory that you may never even hear about.
Yeah. Now, I barely got to meet him because, I wasn't there most of the time when you were filming with Stanley, but he was very nice when I did meet him, and actually seeing the interview there, that was, I mean, obviously he had nice things to say about Mayberry, which makes me like him now. So I really like him.
Well, we don't, these our pay scale for the series was not, going to attract the biggest stars. But what it did attract was people that just liked Mayberry, and so they wanted to work on it, right? So that's how we got the professionals involved. They saw something, Jason Frederick, huge Mayberry fan. It's like they wanted to be a part of the project. So, that's the advantage of doing a family-friendly Mayberry show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of Mayberry, so we've been doing more and more shorts on YouTube. You still getting those in your feed, Alan?
Yes. Yeah. I've been watching them. I've been liking them. So hopefully
keep liking them. But it's funny. They'll really spike right off the bat and get like 10,000 views. And then the algorithm takes over and, I don't know, it kind of moves it in and out of rotation. I don't know what the story is, but we've gotten a lot of new subscribers, which is great, which is why I continue to put those up because, one, they're fun. They're fun to do. There are a lot of Andy Griffith content. So if you haven't discovered our shorts feed, like you can go to our YouTube channel. You might be there right now watching this. And just click on the shorts tab or you go to the shorts section. And there's just tons of fun stuff there. So I have a little sampling. Some of these haven't even posted yet. So in this little montage, but let's get a little, and I have to limit the Andy Griffith Show clips because those are the ones that'll get us nailed for copyright.
Right.
So, and as I told Alan before, I mentioned it on this podcast, I'll add different music. Part of that's just to make it a little more interesting, throw you off the scent.
Well, I will say there's at least one of them I had to watch twice to figure out where did that come from because I couldn't figure out where it came from. It took me a little while.
I think I think it's in here. So let's
edited them very well because I'm like, where is this?
Exactly. Here we go.
As Mark Twain said, everybody complains about the weather, but nobody does anything about it.
I thought Calvin Coolidge said that.
Wait a minute, who are you? I am Mark from Mark. Gabaza.
We return to the Andy Griffith Show after these messages.
I like that boy, Opie.
He should know better.
Well, he doesn't seem to.
I'll just let him go till he gets in just enough trouble, and then he'll find out something.
Why, I never heard of such a thing.
Wait till I get in front of the Justice of the Peace. I'll give him a piece of my mind. I'll tell him what kind of an officer he's got working for him, a Jesse James with a badge.
Well, I reckon you can tell the Justice of the Peace if you want to.
Well, I reckon I won't do.
Well, he's a fair-minded kind of a fellow, and if he figures that I did wrong, why, he'll probably tell me off pretty good.
It's opening day, Paul.
What you got in the bag here? Baseballs, spiked shoes?
No, it's post alphabets. You get free baseball trading cards on all the post cereal packages.
Well, how about that? There's 6 free trading cards right on the back of this box of alphabets.
They're fun to trade and collect.
Why, I'd think so. Where are you playing today?
We ain't playing, Paul. We're too little.
But you said it was opening day.
That's right. We're all gonna open our Post cereal boxes and eat and trade cards.
Oh, that kind of open. Folks, why don't you start your day a little bit better with ABC delicious Post alphabets and get you free baseball trading cards. I appreciate it, and good night.
I hadn't seen that one. That's great.
So, was the one that you were talking about in that montage?
No, it wasn't. It's one where I think it's a color episode that you turn black and white and then put some music over. Maybe, I don't know, because Andy, I know I wasn't never sure if I could figure it out.
Well, one of those was one that I turned black and white.
Okay, so that's what I figured it was, and I'd never seen the Mork, and I never saw the Happy Days one either.
I ran across that the other day. I thought, oh, that's an appropriate reference.
I'm impressed you found that, actually, the reference to the Andy Griffith Show. That's pretty cool.
Spending too much time on YouTube these days.
Now I'm going to have to find that episode so I can watch it now. So that's
any other news to share? Now, someone mentioned that you did an episode. I didn't see your podcast this week, Alan. So what was the topic that someone
the actual episode this week is about Mayberry Goes Hollywood. It's about that episode where the producer was coming to town and everything. That's the one I actually was covering this week in my podcast. And I told people this wasn't planned. It worked out really good.
So, Stark, are you excited about the show finally hitting the airwaves? Not really the airwaves, the streaming waves.
Yeah. Are we going to do some kind of a campaign, like, urge everyone to, if they're not a subscriber, to go ahead and do the monthly thing? And it seems like to me, if you can get the numbers big in the beginning, it does require a little extra work to subscribe and then unsubscribe if you're not planning on keeping it. But it seems like it might be a good idea to urge everybody. I don't know if that's a mass email list that we would send out or how you'd do that, but
yeah,
wondering if you're going to do that.
We'll send out an email, prompting people to do that. We'll talk about it next Wednesday, the day before. I didn't want to suggest it too early because there's a free trial. I want people to be able to take advantage of the free trial. And so, you don't want to ask people to go subscribe to a channel they may have no other interest in to watch it. So we want to give people a fair shot. And we've also been working behind the scenes to get this onto additional streaming options for you. It's just becoming a little more difficult than we expected. So, but we should get there.
Well, so I know it worked out real good last time, at least for PureFlix, which was the original. They originally carried the movie exclusively for a while. We still have a PureFlix subscription here at the Houston household, and I'm almost 100% sure the same thing's going to happen this time.
I think so.
Yeah. These are the kind of movies that somebody in my house really likes to watch. So,
well,
I had an idea. The other day, and tell me, since you would be a part of it, you would too, Court. But that episode 6 that I wrote. Maybe some live, we can have a reading of that. And so we can get as many people like Chris Bowman. There's scenes with Chris Stone in it. Maybe we avoid those because I don't think probably we're going to get Brett to come on and do it. But we can hopefully get, Rick and Ashley and maybe just read through it. I could be the narrator. Court could be the narrator part. He could read that stuff. I could take a part that's, just do a little, what do you call that? A little play.
Yeah.
What do you call that in the old days? Radio play. We'll do a little radio play, except we have talking heads, so you have to look at us.
We can just have David Dameron do all the characters.
That's right. Like in his audition.
I could go through the script, find out how many parts there are, and we could put the word out. And anybody wants to come in and read, somebody's dialogue. Although in episode 6, trying to be realistic about budget, there aren't a lot of other characters. It's pretty much 5 or 6 characters through the whole thing. But maybe we could do that sometime, since it may or may not ever get made. It might be fun to read it. You'd have to, look it over, Alan, and kind of rehearse prior, and so you have an idea of how you want to deliver your lines. Or we could get on the phone and I could, say, here, this is what I'm thinking. And then we'll kind of do a little radio play. It killed 20 minutes anyway, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we can do it down at the community theater.
Yeah, there you go. We can go on tour. We can go on tour.
Where we end up next, who knows?
All right. So next Wednesday, we'll probably cook up something special for the day before the official release. And boy, wouldn't it be nice if we got onto that additional streaming platform by then, because then we could make it a really big deal. So you going to be with us next week, Stark?
Probably. I could do it.
All right. Alan, we can count on you. You're my co-host now.
I'll be here unless something happens. Yeah.
All right. Well,
unless Stanley gives me a call and I got maybe he's got me a job. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So we'll probably work on, I'll put the calls out to our various cast members and see how many people can join us next week. So it should be a party next week. So hopefully you can join us. And until then.
Hey, listen, if you like that video, there's going to be plenty more right here at Mayberry Man. And make sure you push that button that says like. Because without that, the producer's got nothing.
If you want more videos about The Andy Griffith Show, be sure to hit subscribe and click that little bell icon so you're notified whenever we post a new video. Thanks for watching.
Come on, baby.